Hey everyone, today I'm going to walk you through my complete workflow for creating high-quality side-scroller assets using PixelLab. We're going to build everything from scratch: characters, animations, tile sets, and even parallax backgrounds. First things first, every game needs a hero. I'm heading over to the Create tab and opening the Medium to XL image tool. I want a classic fantasy feel, so I'm prompting for a full-body male mage wearing a red cloak. To give him that classic 2.5D side-scroller perspective, I'm setting the direction to southeast. This ensures he's not just looking flatly to the side, but has a bit of depth. I'll set the canvas to 64 by 64 and keep the background transparent so he's ready to be dropped into the game. Okay, that looks great, but you'll notice he's facing southwest instead of southeast. Don't worry, that's an easy fix. I'll click Edit in PixelLab, go up to Effects, and hit Mirror. While I'm in the editor, I'll do a quick cleanup pass, fixing any stray pixels or adjusting the cloak until he's perfect. Now let's save him to the gallery. Perfect. Now consistency is key in game dev. If you want an entire cast that looks like they belong in the same world, you use the Create from Style Reference Pro tool. I'm going to drag our mage in as the reference and prompt for characters from a ninja fantasy world with magic spells, no held items. And just like that, we have a full cast of characters in the exact same art style. Again, I'll take a second to hop into PixelLab to remove any stray artifacts. Having clean frames now saves us a massive headache later when we start animating. Now for the fun part, movement. I'll take one of our characters and head to the Animate with Text New tool. One very important tip here, padding. I'm increasing the canvas to 80 by 80. If you keep the canvas too tight, your character won't have room for secondary motion. For the action, let's start simple with an idle breathing loop. I'll hit Enhance with AI, which adds those professional descriptors for us, and set it to 8 frames. Check it out, the result is a really smooth, natural idle. Next, the walk cycle. Using the same starting frame, I'll prompt for a walking loop. And there, really nice. Notice the head bobbing a bit too much. Just open it in PixelLab, copy the head from the first frame, and realign it across the others. It's a 10-second fix for a much more stable animation. Running is trickier because it's a high-energy movement. If we start from a standing position, the animation can feel like it has a laggy start. To fix this, I first use the Animate with Text tool and prompt for a heavy sprint loop at 12 frames to get some dynamic movement. Then I move to the Interpolate New tool, where we can actually use a first and last frame. I'll drag one of those running frames into both the first and last frame slots. This forces the AI to create a perfect loop between two identical points of motion. I'll prompt running, enhance it, and boom, a seamless sprint. Just remember to get rid of that duplicate frame at the end. Now, let's get a bit more experimental with a running jump animation. This is where the workflow gets really interesting. Instead of starting from a static pose, I'm going back into the Animate with Text New tool, and I'm going to use one of our active running animation frames as the reference. This is crucial because it keeps the momentum and the character's lean consistent from the run into the leap. Of course, I'm going to hit Enhance with AI, and I'm going to do 12 frames and hit Generate. Look, we got a pretty long animation here. Usually the first couple of frames are just him starting to jump, which can make the action feel a little laggy in game. That's exactly what I'm going to look at. I'll download the sprite sheet and bring it into Sprite. What I'm looking for here is the meat of the jump. By manually picking and choosing the most dynamic frames and cutting the ones I don't like, I can turn a 16-frame sequence into a tight, snappy 12-frame animation. It's all about curation, getting rid of the fluff so the jump feels instant and responsive the second the player hits that button. Of course, we needed some kind of enemy, so I'm going to take one of the other characters we got from the style images and drag him into the Animate with Text tool. I'm going to prompt something like idle doing magic and breathing and pad it the same way I did for our main character to 80 by 80. I'll enhance the prompt, do 8 frames, and hit generate. Look at that, that's pretty sick, not gonna lie. Here's how he'll look in game. Alright, so now let's move on to tile sets. For side-scroller tile sets, you can go to either Sprite or PixelLab, but I'm going to be using PixelLab right now. We can go to the map category and create tile set side-scroller. Here you can describe the top tile and the center tile of your set. You can also define the outline style, the shading, and the tile size. We have 16 by 16 or 32 by 32. I'm going to use these settings just as they are and hit generate. There we go. We got a pretty nice rocks and grass tile set. Let's try one more at 32 by 32 for a snow and ice wall. And there we go. That's a pretty decent tile set. You can always retry to get better results. But what I really wanted to show you is a trick to edit these tile sets and make them look even prettier. Let's try it with this first set. Let's go to Edit Image Pro, set the tile set as our image, and I'll prompt it something like, make the tile set prettier with real grass accents and stone walls. Look at that, it was as simple as just telling it to make it prettier and add those details. If you like the results, you can go back to the Create Tile Set tool and hit Transform to Tile Set, which lets you transform it into different layouts like Wang or 15 tile. I'm going to do 15 this time. And let's try it with the ice one as well, using another trick. You can actually go to Create Tile Set, transform the tile set first so it's a smaller image with the auto tiles already set. Then go to Edit Image Pro and prompt, make this tile set prettier, ice wall and snow top. Keep the same composition. Just look at that, that's 100 times better. Now we can test it out, and it works perfectly. Moving on, I want to make a background. This is just to showcase the tools, but I'm going to make a 16 by 9 aspect ratio here in my map, which gives me a 512 by 288 pixel canvas. I'm going to draw the floor manually just so we have a reference, but you can do it in Sprite as well by drawing the tiles in. Now that we have that set, I'm going to put the character in and go ahead and use the InPaint V3 tool. I'll select both the floor and the character, then inverse that selection. That way I can InPaint everything besides the characters we want to keep. I'll fill that in, and now we have an InPainting selection. I'm going to prompt something like a seamless, horizontal, snowy landscape background for a side-scroller game, simple and beautiful. I'm not going to remove the background, I'm just going to hit generate. Look at that. If we go to view tiled mode and just check the x-axis, you can see it tiles perfectly. But now we're missing the floor where the character was. We can fix that by getting rid of the old InPainting selection and just painting over where our character and floor were. I'll use the same prompt on a new layer with changes and hit generate. Look at that, we got a pretty nice floor as well, and it loops perfectly. Now if you want to get really fancy with that background, you can go to Edit Image Pro, set the image, and prompt leave just the trees for Parallax, remove everything else, keep the same composition. Hit remove background, use a new layer with changes, and hit generate. Check this out, it literally isolated the trees for us, and they still tile perfectly. I'm going to do the same thing for the mountains and the sky. Now when you test it out in game, you can set up parallax depth really easily. Alright, this is the last thing I'm going to show you, which is how to make a full scene just by using the character as a reference. I'm going to use the same canvas size as before and place a character where I think he should stand. I'll go to In Paint Feed 3, select the character, inverse it, and fill it. Now I'll prompt Game Map, Side Scroller, 2.5D Game. The character is standing on the floor. Beautiful scene, Desert Fantasy. And check it out. That's a pretty dope scene. It didn't really remove the character from the generation, but we can fix that easily with In Paint Feed 2. I'll use the selection, paint over where the character was, and prompt Nature. And there we go, a beautiful scene where we can drop our character in. So yeah, that's the video. I hope this helps your game dev journey. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.